So how did all of this happen so quickly in a country as nice and moderate as Canada? Well, it happened the way that it always happened. It happened with maximum aggression and limited popular support. Justin Trudeau won re-election last year with less than a third of the national vote. In fact, he finished the election behind his main competitor, the Conservative Party. Thanks to quirks in the parliamentary system, Trudeau took power anyway, and he immediately began to crack down on anyone who opposed him. Trudeau had relatively few supporters, but they turned out to be the right supporters. They were the people with power. The woman, for example, you just saw announcing the crackdown on cryptocurrency is Canada's deputy prime minister. But before she was that, she was a longtime journalist, including in our country. She used to write for the Washington Post. She's currently married to a New York Times reporter. Why is that relevant? Well, because up and down this story, you see the starring role that media organizations have played in the death of Canadian democracy. The other day, for example, somebody hacked the database of the crowdfunding website GiveFundGo and then revealed the names of people who donated to the truckers protesting in Ottawa. You got to ask yourself, who would have the tech savvy and the political motive to do something like that? Well, state intelligence agencies would. In fact, we can't really think of anybody else. It would certainly be interesting to find out who did it. It's a big part of the story. But media companies seem curiously uninterested in finding out who did it. Instead, they immediately started using this stolen information to intimidate the donors. Anyone who dared to send money to Justin Trudeau's political opponents was unmasked in public, shamed, and of course, inevitably threatened, because that's what happens. Trudeau's state TV channel, the CBC, has been working on this retribution project all day long. They know who their enemies are, and they know who their master is. It's Justin Trudeau. But Canada's National Post newspaper is doing the same thing. The National Post is supposedly independent of the government, but they're still doing it. In this country, Vice Media, to its great and eternal shame, has been doing the same thing. So what do all of these media companies have in common? Well, they're all squarely on the side of entrenched power against the population they supposedly serve. That's the opposite of what journalism was designed to do. But at this point, it is the rule, not just in the United States, but around the world. Reporters and politicians and big business all align against voters, against you. Have you noticed? Earlier this week, the CBC warned Canadians that the word freedom has, quote, become common among far-right groups. So only QAnon wants freedom.